people going to be able to understand you with dip in your mouth?
Yeah, I always have dip in my mouth.
Why does your voice sound like that? It's not your normal voice, Mike. No, it's not.
This is my normal voice.
No, it's not. Do you hear yourself?
Yes.
It sounds like you have a cold,
No.
like a toad stuck in your throat.
Did you see another teacher in Madison County was just suspended?
For sexual stuff? Mhm.
There was one last week, one this week.
Mhm.
Last week or this week was the choir director. No, that was Limestone County.
I didn't say who it was.
Limestone County was the choir director, which is the next one over, kind of up, like our Tennessee. The choir director was a guy, and it was 2 students he slept with.
Gross.
The most recent one was a female.
Mm. The other one was a boy?
No, teacher.
Oh, I was
The
okay.
most recent was a female teacher, and I don't remember. And the other one, prior to that, was possession of paraphernalia, like child porn.
Mm.
He didn't do anything to a student, but he was investigated because he was doing like the online chats and stuff.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You know, all these people, I feel like don't deserve to live, but they just should be shipped to their own island. They can do stuff to each other. And hopefully,
Which you know that's the history of Australia.
pedophiles?
No, it was a penal colony.
A what?
Penal colony,
What is penal?
like the penitentiary.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
that criminals went there, and it was a lot of the Europeans.
Well, that's what they did when they committed a crime. They were sentenced to like this barren island of Australia, and the boats would go and drop the prisoners off and leave.
Yeah, I knew that, but when you said that's what they're for, I'm like, pedophiles? Like, that's what it was? It's a little messed up. Okay,
Now that's Epstein's island.
that's a sensitive subject. I'm not laughing because it's funny. So fucked up. Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hello,
I'm Jade,
and I'm Mike.
and this is Jade and Mayhem podcast,
It is.
true crime podcast.
And mystery.
Mayhem. Okay, so we recorded this once already, so this is round 2. Well, part of it. I revamped it. But for some reason, I feel really nervous, but I don't know if it's because meds are making me feel anxious, or there's just a lot going on.
Meth?
I don't take meth.
Well, I thought that's what you said.
I said meds.
Oh.
Meds are making me feel anxious, but we have a lot going on, so we said this in the last one, so it's a start over. We've been gone for a little while. Life happened.
Still happening.
Not like it was before, and now we're back. I mean, it's shift changed. Like, basically, I was unavailable to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But now kids are working, so we got a little bit more time.
How does that mean more time?
Because they're not at the house. Mom, dad.
No, they didn't bother us the most. The one that's not working is the one that bothers us the most, and she's above us in the bonus room. So we have one that's grounded, but it really grounds us because now we have to drive them everywhere. Mm-hmm. I made a video about it, and someone commented, I think I told you, where they were like, they could get arrested and lose their license for going 25 over. I'm like, well, lucky him.
Yeah, so for those of you guys, what he didn't know was last night, he went to a soccer game on his own and was driving home. He didn't know that I showed up to the soccer game to watch and support. And I called Jay and I said, hey, when he calls to let you know the game's over and he's going to head home, don't let him know I'm here. I'm just going to kind of follow and see how he does. I thought it would be something simple as he forgot to turn on his headlights or something like that. Nope, this little turd was revving his engine with all of his friends. And mind you, he has a little 4-cylinder car, a little Honda Fit, but revving his little engine, honking his horn as he drives through the parking lot. And then as soon as he turns out of the school, punches it. I am in a 2025 year model vehicle, and I could not keep up with this little Honda Fit. So you know he had it floored. He got up to what? So I called Jade and I said, hey, look on the app and check out his speed so I'm not the only one or if I'm like seeing it wrong. 72, 73 miles an hour.
It was 73. I said 25 over, so he's going to assume that I think it was that it was at 75. It don't matter.
Mm-hmm. But in a 50, and then it went to 60, and I couldn't keep up with him because I'm I'm not going to drive outside of my comfort.
No, I could see it. Like as soon as he could start going, you could tell he pushed it and he was just going. Now, he has ADHD and he didn't have his medicine. Did not know that. And if I did know that, he probably no, I would say he would not have drove because some people who have ADHD need the medicine for impulse control, and that is basically what his is for because he doesn't make the brightest decisions.
And even on our little side road that's posted 40 miles an hour, I was even watching it today when I was driving. I go about 46, 47, and that's still kind of fast but comfortable. Last night I was going 51 to try to keep up with him.
Well, and then in the neighborhood, he was going 28. It is 25, but it is a subdivision, and there are little children in this neighborhood. I even feel like sometimes when I'm going 25, I'm going too fast. And he was like, "What? Can I not go at least 5 over?" I'm like, "Not when there's the whole neighborhood heard, not when there's fucking children in this." Yeah, whatever. We're going to move on from that, but just keep your kids safe. He's lost his privileges for a couple weeks and some other ones. Unfortunately for him and us.
Yeah. His sister gets to drive him to school and we get to pick him up.
Yeah.
And take him to work and pick him up.
Well, I told him, I was like, you probably thought you were so cool, but you're not cool now. Okay. When I started these notes, Nancy Guthrie was the big case. You don't even hear that anymore. You don't even hear Epstein files anymore.
So this week I heard about Nancy. There was some more DNA found in the house.
But DNA that they don't know or like could, because like she probably have people over.
It's media. They're going to clickbait, but that was the last thing that I seen. And that was this week.
It is crazy how they don't have someone and it's just, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, well, I mean, I didn't hear that. So like, it's not the top.
And I seen a new conspiracy on it is they showed the masked man with the mouth flashlight. Somebody broke it down and said, I do not see a masked man. I see a heavyset woman because the bulge in the top of like the ski mask. She was like, this is the ponytail. Look at like the spacing of the eyes. Look how the eyes are. And I don't know, the way they were seeing it, they seen a heavier woman.
The one that was at the front messing with the doorbell and stuff, that looked like a man. Like if you watch the video, the built and everything, like I understand some women can look like they have a man. They're remembering what it looked like. To me, it looked like someone who wasn't super fit, but was kind of like, a little bit, kind of like a military. I don't know. What would I think? So a semi-fit CIA person is probably what I would have thought, even though they were a little mediocre on their stuff.
Like me, kind of fit, kind of fat.
But I don't know. There was just my biggest pet peeve was that with that is too much coverage and not enough coverage to other things. But thankfully, I guess this FedEx case is getting a lot of coverage. Oh, I had a question for you. Do you think...
For me?
Yes. Who did you think I was asking?
The listener. Or listeners, if there's more than one.
Why do you think we hear more of this stuff? Is it because we're getting older and that we're noticing it more? Or do you think it's social media that...
1,000% social media. And they are going to cover whatever gets you to click. Because there's also ads associated with that. And they get paid by the amount of clicks from that ad.
So you don't think that case that is getting no coverage, or at least nationwide, the one we talked about before, the mother who didn't report her child missing, just like a Casey Anthony, you would think because it sounds a lot like Casey Anthony that it would get national news. There's a lot of people that never even heard of it.
My opinion's not going to go over well, so I won't.
Is it based on what? Do you think it's race?
It is. I think it's Southern Alabama in a not so wealthy area. It is a African-American woman and an African-American child. And that's not going to get clicks.
I thought of that today. I thought I was going to ask you that if you thought maybe it was based on race, and that's really unfortunate. That's near Talladega, right? I mean, obviously it's Southern, not the county, Montgomery.
No, Talladega's northeast towards Tennessee, Georgia.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
We've had the same conversation.
No,
We've had this argument before.
definitely east.
No, maybe, but it's not north.
Because I think Talladega is half.
Scottsboro is our northeast ish.
I would say just east.
Is that also where the race car is?
Yep.
Talladega.
And it's like half Tennessee, half
No, it is not.
Alabama, right? Like Talladega National Forest and everything.
I'm trying to pull it up. It didn't pull up a map. Here, do this one. Yeah, I'm so fucking right. It's east of Birmingham, south of us. We've talked about this before. Okay, moving on.
You remember a few years ago, the shooting at Fort Hood?
Mm-hmm.
It was an active duty major, like Hassan something.
And he did shooting?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He came on base and just shot and killed a couple people.
Mm-hmm.
He just got gas chamber.
Oh.
Death by gas chamber.
How long has it? When was the last time someone got death by gas?
I don't know.
That's like you die asphyxiation that way, right? Like
probably, yeah.
Because like when you're
starved of oxygen.
Well, like the other stuff, when they inject you, you just kind of it just stops, right?
Yeah, because the first one kind of puts you to sleep, and the second one does the.
I feel like that's not right. If they're gonna put you to death, that you need to. Well, that sucks for him. Okay. First case is the oldest cold case of a missing child. Her name is Marjorie West, and she was 4 years old when she went missing on Mother's Day in 1938, May 8th. It was in the Halkany Forest in Pennsylvania. I do not know how to say that, and I don't know where that is. Have you been to Pennsylvania?
No, there's nothing there for me.
There's an amusement park.
Hershey Park.
Yeah. I feel like you're going to say something to that.
No.
Okay. So she was in the forest picking flowers with her sister. Her sister was 11. Her name was Dorothea. And
do you think it's Dorothea or is it Dorothy and you're pronouncing it wrong?
It's Dorothea. Dorothea. I don't think it's Dorothy. I like Dorothea. Okay. Dorothea.
It's Dorothea
because her name's Marjorie and Dorothea. I feel like.
Or Marjorie and Dorothy.
No, that don't sound right. It's 1938. You know, it's almost like Martha
and Gertrude.
Okay, so anyways, the 11-year-old Dorothea went to her mother because she wanted to show her the wildflowers that she had picked. But she left her 4-year-old sister alone in the woods by herself.
Not in the woods, not yet.
Yes, she did.
They were at a park.
That is, they were in the woods. Like they were, the family was at the park. The girls were in the woods picking flowers together. She left her 4-year-old toddler sister alone to go show her mother the flowers she'd picked. It doesn't say, but could you imagine that conversation? Like, I'm sorry, if our 16-year-old daughter left our 14-year-old daughter alone in the woods and came to us to show us something that she got, I'd be like, where the fuck is your sister?
The 14-year-old wouldn't let that happen. Like, hey, you ain't leaving me here by myself. I'm going with you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Dorothea goes back, probably because she got chewed out by her mother and was like, where is your sister? Go get her. She goes back and she's gone. The theory is she liked to play hide and go seek. That was her favorite game. And when her sister left, she probably hid. Even though you've already heard this, and obviously there's no good ending to it, like a resolution, do you think she went to play hide and go seek? Or do you think someone abducted her?
I think the older sister went back to look, but not in the right spot. Because if they're in the woods.
Oh, that makes sense.
She went back and lost her bearing. You know, she didn't know exactly where she was at. And she thought her sister was there.
That makes sense. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, like I said, a lot going on. Nerves are heightened. Everything's just.
I didn't see any descriptions of the parents' reaction, but you can only imagine how that was going. And plus, you know, you don't have phones. I don't know how long it was before they got the police involved, but when they did and they started searching, about 3,000 people helped search. They also brought bloodhounds from New York The bloodhounds had picked up a scent, stopped them in a shed or a cabin, but then no more scent after that. Some did say that if she did fall into because I guess there's a lot of mines there, or fell off a boulder, I'm not really sure what the forest looks like.
Mhm.
If she had injured herself and thought maybe she was still alive, she would not have survived the next couple of nights when looking for her, because it reached below freezing those couple of nights, and she had just gotten over pneumonia. So they were like, it would be impossible for her to be alive. But they searched the park shoulder to shoulder as much as they could, because they felt like when they did that, they would even be able to see if she fell into a mine, fallen, whatever. But there was no.
Being that small, it could have been an animal
To grab her?
Yeah.
The search didn't last long. They only did it for about 3 weeks. There was even what's that called? What's the prize money called? My mind went blank.
Like reward money?
Yeah. There was a reward put out for it. A couple organizations locally tried to help, but again, they didn't even have any suspects. But obviously they didn't even know exactly what happened. There was 3 theories that they thought happened: abduction, fell into a mine/well, or hit by a vehicle. But I feel like if she was hit by a vehicle, there'd be evidence to show that. And I don't know what she was like, but I don't think she'd be running out in the street. What do you think?
And at this age, or this time, what you said, 1930s?
Mm-hmm.
Vehicles weren't going that fast.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking too. Okay, so hold on, my mind went blank. There wasn't a lot of coverage. It kind of died down after 10 years. You just didn't hear anything more about it in the media, the newspapers, until the late 90s. And we had talked about this. It must be like a local town story that everyone knows. This author from the area, hold on, I put his name. Did I put his name? Probably didn't matter. Nope. Why didn't I put his name? Whatever. There was an author that wrote an article about this, and within a year span wrote another one, and then he wrote a book. But then he really wanted to help solve this case, so he created a website, and the sister, she had to have still lived in the area, contacted him, wanted to correct some information that he had, give him more information, gave him some pictures of her and her sister as little kids. They looked a lot alike, so she gave him a picture of herself now, and he used that and made an aged progressed photo. And when he put it on his website, here's the thing I was going to ask you too. So he put it on the website, and it reached out to a lady in North Carolina, all the way from Pennsylvania. The internet wasn't like what it is today. So how did it reach her? And how do you find that? How does that come across you just sit there, start looking for cold cases, and would it happen to populate? How did she find?
No, there's always been advertisement. You're going to pay to run ads.
You think he paid to run the ad of the website? It didn't say that.
To garner interest to sell his book.
That's true. I also tried to find his book. You can't get it. It's almost like it doesn't exist, but you find it and it says not available everywhere that I looked. There was a lady that reached out and said, from North Carolina, that she looks like my coworker. And her name, not this lady, but the lady it looked like, was Sylvia Waldrop London. So he got in contact with Sylvia and said, hey, I think you are this missing child I've been looking for, and presented her everything. And she was like, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. She dismissed everything, but asked him to keep her identity a secret, and they kept in touch. Mm-hmm. If you are not that child, why your identity needed to be kept secret?
I agree.
And why would you stay in touch? You know what I mean? So, and also, why didn't the sister get involved? I guess because she asked for her identity to be kept secret. That's why the sister didn't know about this. I'd be pissed once I found out. Okay, so she asked for the death penalty. It's really on my mind right now. You better watch out, man. Mm-hmm. When she asked for her identity to be kept a secret, she asked to wait until she died if he was to talk about it. So,
well, I'm assuming she was already in poor health at this time.
Probably, because I think she died of cancer. So she probably already knew she had cancer, but at this point, and that she didn't have much longer. I think she died in her 70s. When she was on her deathbed, she told her husband that her mother abducted her from a park, and that Dorothea and her brother's name, I don't remember what that was familiar to her. But that's only from her husband, like saying that. So I'm sure she said it to him, but there's no way to prove it now that she's gone.
There is.
Well, are you talking about the genealogy DNA?
Yeah, the DNA of her kids with sister.
The sister's probably not alive anymore.
The sister's kids.
Can you imagine the conversation, though? If my mother was like, hey, I just want to let you know, I abducted you from a park. How would you react if your parents told you that? Like, why would you not look for your family when you got older?
Well, if you're probably older and you've got kids, you've got grandkids, you don't want them to know, Granny stole mom when she was little. Don't want to, hurt that image or cause a tiff in the family.
I guess because that's a different time, because nowadays I feel like people be like, fuck that. I'm finding out who I belong to. It would be hard because there's a case where this girl, she was abducted out of the hospital. And I forgot how it came to be. Like, it was later in her life. She needed her birth certificate. There's a movie made about it, so I'm sure some of it's not accurate, but I do know it's a true story. And I think it was awkward when she finally did meet up with her parents, but this is like when she was an adult. And then the mother, the one who abducted her mother, turned herself in, I believe. I don't know. It's interesting. I would be so pissed. So, yeah, there was something I was going to say to that. Hold on. Never mind. As a kid, did you ever wish that you were adopted? Like, as a little kid, you never thought about that?
No, those things didn't go through my mind.
Okay, so when I was a kid, the movies that were kind of popular were like Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. I don't know what other movies there was, so I was like hoping maybe you had a sibling out there that I didn't know about. There was other times I was wishing I was adopted, but clearly DNA says otherwise because I look like them. I don't look like my mom, but okay. With all of that, because there's nothing. That's the end, right?
Oh, the end.
Yeah, sorry. There's nothing more to it except for it's considered a cold case because it was never confirmed. There never was anything done with it, even though people would probably believe this was her.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think actually happened? Do you think she was abducted?
I do. And it can be solved by just DNA.
I know you're saying it can be solved by that way, but do you think Sylvia was the girl?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because she said on her deathbed.
She didn't say it was her. She just said she was abducted, and those names sounded familiar.
And the coworker said she looked just like the sister.
No, the photo. The age progressed photo. Yeah. Okay. I would want to know if I had siblings and stuff like that.
Who knows? She might have in her other family.
Oh, yeah. Didn't think about that. More siblings. I'm all about family.
Let's go, Papa Smurf.
I know my tongue is blue, but I literally said, hold on. And I was taking a drink of my electrolytes. You are dehydrating yourself. Maybe you should create a bourbon. Advertise it. Jada Mayhem bourbon.
Okay. I got to taste a lot.
You can go sleep somewhere else. Okay. So here's case number 2. This is was the oldest. Okay. It is the oldest cold case recently solved by DNA.
Oldest?
Missing child.
Okay.
Of a missing child. Well, the child's not missing anymore, but you'll find out. So this girl, she was 12 years old. Her name is Mary Theresa Simpson. And on March 15th, 1964 in Elmira, New York. You been there?
Nope.
Been to New York?
Just the city.
What'd you do?
Flew in.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you coming from? Was it deployment?
Mm-hmm.
She lived with her dad. So we'll start with that. She lived with her dad. Her parents were divorced. And around 3 p.m. that day, she was leaving to go to her cousin's house. What she didn't tell what her dad was that she was going to stop and see her mom. But then she did go to her cousin's afterwards. Then she went to the gas station, which a friend saw her at 7 p.m.
She was on her bicycle, I assume.
It didn't say.
Okay.
I'm thinking she walked. But the last time she was seen was 7 p.m. at the gas station. And then by 11 p.m. that night, her dad reported her missing. My question is, it probably doesn't matter, but why did she keep it a secret from her dad to see her mom? Like, was she unfit? I'm nosy. Like, was she unfit? Did they just have a lot of beef and it would just cause like issues that she went to go see her mom?
I think that one.
That one. And I know it's a different time and people definitely probably don't do this as much. This child's walking all over town. Just no wonder, These notes are kind of all over the place. So when he reported her missing, the police didn't really act fast on it. But the next day, they did search empty homes, but didn't think anything too big of it.
Well, because it's probably like present day, and they're not missing until 24 hours.
Is that the case still?
Yeah.
Well, 3 days later, so 15? No. When she didn't show up for 3 days, they got more serious about the search. But on the 19th of March, she was found in a wooded area. And it showed that she was dead, that she was assaulted. Well, okay, backtrack that. The autopsy showed that she was sexually assaulted. They didn't know that then because she was fully clothed.
Mm-hmm.
But she had twigs. So when my notes say assaulted, meaning that she was, let me backtrack and start that all over again. So I don't even know what the fuck. Anyways, March 19th, she's found. And she had twigs, leaves, and I think stones stuffed in her mouth down to her throat. I don't know why. And if it was to keep her quiet, that's weird. To me, I don't know. Her autopsy showed that she was sexually assaulted and strangled to death. She was wearing a skirt. I don't like to think of details on how all of it happened, but it's just strange how she was fully clothed. But I guess it was easier to do what he did, or he just felt like he needed to dress her back up. She was assaulted, murdered, and left all in the same place. It's not like done one location, dumped in another.
Yeah.
In 7 months, they interviewed 300 suspects, but there was no leads with that. The police department and the investigators, they kept a lot of her clothes and evidence and put it in a freezer. And I thought that was considering there was no evidence that there was any DNA analysis at that time to say this is that person's DNA, it's wild to me that they knew to do something like that. Because
I mean, they probably knew that science was coming. It was in the works. And freezing would preserve
40
it.
years later. So how they... I mean, I'm... Okay, in the 18th... Wait, not then. Hold on. The wind's making that move, right? You see that? The thing is...
Oh, from the fan. Because it's hung right there.
When was the first time we went to the moon? The 1950s?
60s.
I mean, sorry, in space. 50s? Sputnik?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Oh, that was not us, but yeah.
Oh, it wasn't? I don't know why you're looking at me like that.
Sputnik. What do you think that was?
It's Russian.
There you go.
But early 1900, let's say 1910, they weren't thinking, you know what, we're going to go on the moon one day. We're going to space. We have the equipment.
I bet you they've been talking about going to space for thousands of years.
Okay, whatever. I was just really impressed that they kept that. And in the end, that's what led to this case being solved. So fast forward all the way to 2003, they found semen on her skirt, which I don't know how they didn't know that before, but it was liquid. They said liquid on her skirt. That was but it's not liquid. It was dried. So I don't know. They should just whatever. So they put it in CODIS. There was no hit. They resubmitted it in 2014. There was no hit again. 2023, investigators partnered with a company called Othram, and students from Russell Sage College to conduct genealogical analysis. And then by 2025, it matched to Alfred Murray Jr. But unfortunately, he was already dead. And how they did that was the DNA showed a relation to his son. Then they exhumed his dad's body, and then boom, his DNA matched. Is it justifiable in a court to ask to exhume a body to solve a cold case because it's suggesting.
Well, I'm not a professional in this, but I think you have to have family permission, and it goes a lot easier. Then it comes to who's paying for it.
Well, they did this. Well, I don't know about this part, but was it the police department? Someone got some money to help with all of
Mm.
this. And it said that the odds of the DNA belonging to a person other than Murray was less than 1 in 320 billion. So pretty much it's like, gotcha. I mean, it does suck that he's already dead. So there can't be really like any justice in a way. But at the same time, that was a really long time ago. So
What was his age? Just curious when it happened.
I didn't look that part up.
Mm. Was he like I was just thinking, was he like another kid, or a
No,
teenager or a grown adult?
I don't know. They didn't say that. All it said was
Yeah.
like there was no reason to tie him to her. He wasn't from the area. Their circles didn't go around each other. It was just she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it was a crime of opportunity for him.
Mm.
It's really what it was. February 10th, 2026, not too long ago, the police department held a press conference announcing that they believed Murray was the person who killed Mary Theresa Simpson, making it the 18th case solved by Othram. Othram is a company that uses genealogical analysis to help solve cold cases.
Yeah, by finding like relatives and where those markers are, it can help narrow it down, paternal, maternal, generations.
Mm-hmm. I still think it's so crazy that they just were smart about saving, and they got lucky with the DNA to be able to solve the
essentially
case.
preserving it.
Yeah.
In the freezer.
Yeah. Okay. You haven't done any crimes, but your DNA is out there in those databases.
Yep. Well, we're military, so it's out there.
I don't remember my DNA being taken. Yep. When?
MEPS.
What process? I don't remember this.
Your blood?
They don't have your DNA like sequence from your blood.
Yeah, it goes in the system. You're in.
Huh?
Yeah.
Gonna have to look at it.
Yeah, think about it. Like if you were somewhere and a explosion or a wreck or something, how would they be able to identify you if it was just an arm? Or what if you were captured and they smell back a finger and say it's yours? How do they prove it's yours? Your DNA's in the system.
I did not think about that. Now I feel really stupid. There used to be, so because of the Gold State killer, that's where the first case was solved with genealogical analysis. People are starting to get a little concerned about using these third-party companies to see their ancestry because they're like, oh, they're just going to give it over.
Still a big deal.
First off, don't go committing crimes where they won't attach you to anybody. But second off, no, they can't do that anymore. You have to submit it to what's called GED match. If you thought, oh, I did that, and if they needed to find someone and who no.
I'm in GED match.
Are you? You put yourself in there? Well, now you have in order they cannot sell your stuff or give it unless I don't know.
They can't do it by a police agency asking, right? But they can still give it up by warrant.
Probably.
With warrant.
I mean, of course. I mean, they have to.
You got to have probable cause. It's just not like fishing willy nilly.
It didn't.
But yeah, once your DNA is in GED match, then it'll sync and link you with your other markers in GED match and show you who you're related to, different trees, different people.
I still want to do one. I know you bought me one, but it expired by the time I was going to do it. One day. I don't want that for my birthday or Mother's Day or anniversary gift.
I've already got those ready.
I don't need to know you bought them.
I didn't buy them.
Okay, moving on. So this is done. We're done with the case. So unfortunately, she was found but not alive. But there isn't. I don't know. Was it closure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Closure
for her case, but her family that dealt with all that's probably not alive anymore. Unfortunately. Okay. Some interesting facts, but maybe not to you. I've already told you some of these, so you're going to act like this is the first time you've heard these. 24 missing cold cases are current currently active still by the National Park Service, posted 2023. I don't know how often they update this. 97% of long term missing child cases are runaways or family abductions, and long term is longer than 6 months. Analysis of missing person cases show that in some instances, children have been found in areas already searched, and 80% of the time, search dogs fail to find the scent. And then for the genealogical analysis, to this day, it has helped solve more than 1,600 criminal cases as of early 2026.
And it's only getting better.
Yeah. Yeah. I just reading all this, and when I did all this, I wasn't thinking about that child either, because that wasn't known yet, or at least maybe it was known. How long ago did it happen? It happened a few years ago.
What's that?
The FedEx thing.
I
thought
it was more recent.
2022.
Okay.
But I think his court case stuff is going on right now, and that's why it's prevalent. And what's really sad, there's a video clip that was going around, and it must have been today. The mother's on the stand. She's so brave. I don't know if I'd be able to talk. I mean, she's probably telling herself, if I don't do this, there won't be justice.
Well, and it's 4 years later. I'm sure she couldn't do it 6 months or a year later. It's easier.
Yeah.
I'm not saying makes it better. It's just easier.
I forgot what they asked her and why she started describing the detail. I think it was like when she first seen her daughter since everything happened. And she said she was examining her whole body, hoping to find something to prove it wasn't her daughter. And they got her a hospital gown because she had no clothes on. She put makeup on her because she didn't want her dad to see the discoloration all over her. Oh, it's just so unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know. Reading this makes me think of that. Plus, it's prevalent in my mind because I just seen that video today. It makes me want to cry. So that is it. We are done. Didn't even take that long. You feeling good over there?
No.
You look like you're feeling good over there.
I'm always feeling good.
You got a little quiet towards the end, though. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I like what I see.
All right, guys. We are out of here. Peace out, homies. See you on the flip side.
All right, bye.